This video is inspired by this book. A Danish guy called Willy Sylvester Thomsen. I don't know the guy, but I found this book at the library and I find this lure. It's a Scottish lure. It's called a Kynoch, and I look it up, and maybe it's also the one that is called a J-plug or something, and there are some different names for it as well. But the interesting thing about it is it's made of wood, it's a line through lure, and it's an old school one. And the funny thing with this lure is that when it was invented, there were a lot of discussions about was it okay to use this lure because it caught so many fish. What? Yeah, it's true. If the book is true, then it's true. But the book said that this lure just caught so many fish that some fishermen were actually talking about suspending this lure and not use it because it was too good. So, in this video, I'll show you how I make my version of the Kynoch lure, J-plug lure, some other names as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up, it helps us a lot for the algorithm. Also, if you're not a subscriber, I really hope that you subscribe to our channel, and then we are almost 5,000 people that have subscribed to our channel. I'm so honored and so happy and grateful. And let's put a couple of zeros on it in the future. Yeah, let's do it. Let's build this bait. I will use this small little stump here to make this lure. I actually prefer to fish with not that big lures. I love small lures, but one of the bad things about small lures is that they're actually pretty hard to make. I think it's easier to make a big lure than it is to make a small lure. It's easier to carve, it's easier to paint, it's easier to do everything. Sand it, so on. The small lures can be pretty difficult because you need to place the things so correctly. Of course, if you have a big lure, 1 millimeter difference is not that much. But if you only have 10 millimeters to work on, 1 millimeter is a lot. So it's harder to make a small lure than it is to make a bigger lure. It takes a little long, so I think I will go in and grind it instead. I think that's easier. Here on the electrical one here. And of course, safety first. Awesome. So now I have grinded it down to the shape I want. Then I'll just sand it a little bit with some fine sandpaper. And then I need to drill a hole. I don't really know this lure at all. It's my first try of making it. But in the book it says that where you place the hole is very important for the lure to work correctly. Deciding where the hole is gonna be. Oops. Excuse me. The critical thing with this lure, I could read, is to place the line through hole correctly. Because the lure's movement depends on where your hole is. This flat surface here is the thing that will move to the water, which of course makes a lot of turbulence on the water. So you have a lure that will try to go this way, but of course it can't, so it will wiggles, and it will wiggles very much like this. But to have that movement, you really need to place the line through hole correctly. So I will try that, and I can't really find any angles, but in the book from the library. But I of course look it up on the internet, and it said that the angle needs to be 90 degrees from this surface, which means that the hole should be something like this. I would like to try to place the hole a little up here, and it's about the 90 degree and it is about the 90 degrees. So let's try to place this here and there, and then I'll just so this should be some way the correct angle. So I will make this hole, drill from this side through it, and hopefully come out about here. Let's try it. See if it moves correct. The hole is not totally centered. See, it's a little bit to the right, but hopefully that doesn't impact the movement. I think it will, but I will move on with it. Okay, the hole is drilled, the lure is grinded, the shape is correct, hopefully. Now it's time to put in a small plastic tube, and this is to protect the line. It's a line through. I've said it 20 times now, but it's a line through lure, and I really would like to protect the line. Of course I need to glue it in, and I will use some 2-component epoxy rapid glue. I'm using this stuff. You can use whatever you want. The important thing that is just some glue that is pretty strong, right? I could also use some UV resin, but I think that because I can't get light in the whole way, I will use epoxy instead. Maybe you could use some super glue or something as well, but I will use this. Same amount of each, and then mix it up. And you can see I'm using gloves. I actually have a pretty strong safety thing going on when I'm making lures. I really think it's important, not only for me, but also when I show you things, that I use a lot of protection gear. So that's a big responsibility to have when you're making things like this. So I always use a respirator or gloves and so on when I'm painting and grinding, so on. So back to this glue. I only have some small pot time with it. Yeah, put it in here first from the one of the sides. Then I put some glue on here, and then take it back here like so, and then put some on the other side as well. Put it back in from side to side. And now I will leave some tube on both sides of the lure, because when I'm going to give it some top coat, it's easier for me to handle. So I will just cut it off here, and then I have some tube on both sides. Oops. And you can see I put a wire in here to hold it, and I just put it away like so, and then it just needs to set 5 minutes or so, and it's ready. I think I just will clean it off a bit so that all of this epoxy is not here. Perfect. Now it's time for top coat, and I will use the UV resin because it's easy to work with. And it's pretty fast as well, which is nice. And if you never have used UV resin before, then you can just, it's easy, put it on, put some UV light on, or the sunlight, and then it will harden up. You can clean things with just pure alcohol. Alcohol is your friend here. Also, alcohol is actually also your friend in when you're using epoxy. I'll just give it not that much, I just give it a thin layer of UV resin, and then I'm ready to go and test it on the coast. Let's get it under some UV light. There are many different ways that you can set it with the UV light. I have a big screen here, a lamp. This is just easy to work with because of the size of the UV lamp here. While the lure is curing in our UV curing chamber, please let me know if you think it's a good idea for me to talk in these videos, or you don't really want to look at my face. Comment down below. Excuse me. Okay, time to paint this one. I made a couple of them. I made two, and I will paint one of them, and then just fish the other totally wood color. But the other one I want to paint in a more crazy color. Not crazy, but UV green yellow thing. Okay, let's paint it. And I'll put on a mask so it's pretty hard to hear what I'm saying. White, white, white. Now it's that time. The painted lure is in a curing chamber, so I will just show you guys how it, the whole idea with this lure, what it is. The intention with the lure is that you have the flat surface here at the front, and when you reel in, then the lure will try to push down the water, and that makes a lot of turbulence because you have the hole here which run through here, so it will try to position this way against the water when you reel in. And that makes the turbulence, and then the lure will go from side to side with pretty nice action. And hopefully I have set the hole correctly here, because that should be the difficult thing with this lure, to place the hole correctly. If it's just 1 millimeter off, then the lure will move to one of the sides. So I really hope that I have made the hole correctly here. Let's test this bad one here and see what it can do. It's an old Kynoch Scottish lure. and I made it as an inline lure. Yeah. First cast of a test of a new lure, and then I caught this bad boy. That's nice. Whee! Whee! That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, what a beauty. I think that was actually the one that followed the other lure. Ah, look at this beautiful fish. It's pretty strong actually. Opa! Decent one. Ah, nice. That is nice. Nice. Cool. So, and it was, you can see this lure. First cast of this small thing, old Scottish lure called a Kynoch or something like that. This small little one, and then this beautiful fish. Check it. Oh, that's nice. I think maybe this one actually was the one that I had on the herring as a follower. I think that was a bit bigger. Look at this beauty. Oh, you're free again, bag. So nice, perfect. And you can see this one. This was this one. Small Kynoch lure. It wiggles.